श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। ॐ सहनावतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। शक्तिसङ्गमसंक्षुब्ध शक्त्यावेशावसानिकं यत्सुखं ब्रह्मतत्त्वस्य तत्सुखं स्वाक्यमुच्यते. So, before beginning this Dhāraṇā, I told you when I finished this in the last session, in the last class actually, I told that the next two shlokas actually, are talking about the copulation, the intercourse, the union, the sexual act, whatever you call it. So the whole confusion starts from here. Starts from here means from these two shlokas. Misguided people start saying that this is what is the method to gain sex to samadhi, to gain samadhi through sex. This is absurd. First, we have to understand that. Lakshmanju, who is a contemporary expert in the Shaiva Siddhanta, is no more. Late Lakshmanju. So we call him Brahmaleen Lakshmanju. Okay. Or Shivaleen Lakshmanju, whatever. So he says that these two are not even Dhāraṇās. They should not be even accepted as Dhāraṇās. They are not Dhāraṇās. He even goes on to condemn the Abhinav Gupta and other acharyas, great acharyas of Shaiva tradition. And according to me, Lakshmanju is wrong. All these acharyas are right. This is also a Dhāraṇā. This is also a Dhāraṇā. But see, first we have to understand. There is a practice called Vama Pankti, left side practice. These people, the leftists in these sadhanas, that's how we can call them. These leftists, like the leftist here, these leftists also confused people. They have a specific sadhana called Panchamakara Puja. Panchamakara, that which has 5 ma. Madhya, Mamsa, Mantra, Madira, then woman. Okay. Meaning fish, wine, liquor, drink, mantra, then they have meat and woman. But this Panchamakara sadhana is not for someone who has no control. Because nowadays I see a lot of youngsters, they think this Panchamakara sadhana is something very great, superior to other sadhanas. It is considered to be superior among other sadhanas. But for whom it is, for a superior person this is, not for you idiot. You have to understand that. Because you don't have control over mind. How can you go into that? Even for a person, I'm not even talking about a person superior when I say the most eligible person, not even the person who has controlled the mind. He is not even eligible for that. Why? Because even if you have controlled the mind, these kind of things can bring you down drastically. So this is not for everyone. The misguided youth, like they practice this Vama Pankti and all, similarly they start practicing this. In Western language, is called as Tantra. We are not talking about Tantra, they are calling it Tantra. And this tantra is tantrum. It's all problems. They bring everything to sex. This is the most absurd thing. Kama is not the highest means for gaining the samadhi. No. I want to quote some sutras here. Brahmacharyam evatva vidya grahanat. What is this? What is this sutra from? Forget about that. First, let us see the sutra. This is second chapter. In fact, it is first chapter, not second chapter, because the first chapter is full of praying to the gods and the acharyas and their texts. That's all. So this is the first chapter in reality, but let us see it as second chapter itself. Okay. So second chapter, like Bhagavad Gita, first chapter is only talking about the grief of Arjuna, and second chapter is the teaching. Similarly, this also. Okay. This is the sutra. Brahmacharyameva vidya grahanat. You have to practice celibacy while taking any vidya, studying any vidya, not while just studying. This is Brahma Vidya, this is Shiva Vidya, this is Atma Vidya. So even they here, you have to follow celibacy. First, second chapter, sixth sutra. Where? Wait. Evam samavaye purvah purvo gariyan. Evam samavaye purvah purvo gariyan. When you keep all this in, when you see it all in a group, in this group, whatever is said before is superior than the later. Whatever is said former is superior than the later. What are you talking about? Dharma, artha, kama. Moksha is parama purushartha. We are not talking about moksha. Dharma, artha, kama. Dharma, proper act. Artha, trying to earn wealth in a proper act. Kama, performing the desired whatever act through the dharma, the artha gained through dharma, through the wealth gained through proper act. Okay. No kama. Kama is third. It is weaker. Gariyan means superior. What is superior? Whatever is predecessor to it is superior. For kama, artha and dharma are superior. For artha, dharma is superior. Which is the superior one? Dharma. Which is the inferior in this group? Kama. Okay. Now, kama means any desired object, anything which that is desired can be kama. But here we are talking about the act, the union. Okay, that is kama. Let us keep it like that. Bodhavyam tu dosheshu iva. This is the second chapter, 38 slok sutra. Actually, this is the final sutra of the second chapter. I'm just taking the first part. The second part is example. Let us forget about that. Bodhavyam tu dosheshu iva. First, let us understand this. Bodhavyam, Buddha avagamane. You have to understand. No, bodhavyam means you should understand. Tu, definitely. Dosheshu iva. Like it is inflicted with defects. It is associated with defects. Means, what does that mean? Like we always keep away that which is defective. If a food is associated with some defect, if it is going to cause you food poison, if it has poison in it, or if it is a poison for you, like for diabetes people, sugar is poison. Diabetes people don't follow that rule. They'll eat sweet and they'll take medicine also. Anyway, for when you are in fever, then they'll say don't avoid these foods, right? So you follow that and you avoid those foods. Bodhavyam tu, you have to understand this is also with defects. What? This kama is also with defects. Therefore, what you have to do is you have to give it up. So these three sutras are important sutras I have taken from not Artha Sutra, the Puramimamsa Sutra, not Vedanta Sutra, not Nyaya Sutra, not Vaisheshika Sutra, not the Sankhya Sutra, not the Yoga Sutra, not the Buddha Sutra, etc., but from Kama Sutra. These three sutras are from Kama Sutra, the, the book for Kama. There he says, final sutra is, you have to understand this to gain vairagya. Wait. This is the 238, the final sutra. Does he start the third chapter? Of course, there are lots of chapters after this. Where did he start? That is where the example comes. So the examples is like that. Just because there is a beggar outside, you don't stop cooking. Oh, if I have to cook, if I cook, I have to feed him. So let me not cook. If I don't cook, I don't have to feed him, right? Why? Because in the Shastras, it is said, if a person does not feed someone, then he is a thief. He should have to take, there was this great man, he said, every day when you cook, take handful of rice or some food, keep it, store it in some place and give it to people of need, or these places where the Vedas are taught. Okay. So you have to feed a little bit at least for the other beings. So just because you have beggar outside, you don't, okay, I am following the Shastras, therefore. No, hey beggar, get lost. I am not going to feed you. I am hungry and I am going to cook for myself. You do it. Similarly, just because your house is infected with rodents, you don't burn the house. You kill the rodents. Similarly, for people who are craving for lust or craving for this, for them to perform it, to understand it properly, we are writing this text. That's all. That is what Vatsyayana, the author of Kama Sutra, says. Okay. Stri Sangama Sankshubdha. So what does this sutra say? Stri Sangama Sankshubdha. What does this shloka say? We'll come to the shloka. Stri Sangama Sankshubdha Shakti Avesha Avasanikam yatsukhaṃ brahmatattvasya tatsukhaṃ. Svākyamucyate. During the time of sexual union, sexual intercourse, copulation, at the end of it, whatever happiness is gained, that is of the Brahman. That is the Brahmananda. That is your own nature. That is what this sutra says. We'll have to understand each word properly to dispel any ignorance here. Stri Sangama. Stri Sangama. Stri means woman. Sangama means association, union. Okay. So, Tena. Sankshubdha. Sankshubdha. Samyak Kshubdha. Samyak Shubdha means sampravartaha. You can interpret it as sampravarta. That's a synonym. Means pravarta means to be involved. Okay, pravarta means to be involved, to act. Sampravarta means samyak pravarta, nicely acting. Nicely means with intensity. Intensity, that's the keyword. Intensity. So with the intensity, strong intensity, when you are associated with a woman, the reason for translating samyak as intensity is it is not a stupid act. It should not be a simple act of self-pleasure. So it should be with total involvement. That is what is sankshubdha, intense. Okay. Now, shakya avesha, shakti avesha. Shakti avesha means shakti means the woman, the lady. But here when the manifestation of Shakti, Avesha means manifestation. When there is a manifestation of Shakti, when there is a manifestation of bliss, where at the end at the end of the act, where when there is a manifestation of bliss, that bliss is the bliss of the self. Shakti Avesha. When that bliss that is gained at the end, that is a till that we have to be involved in that act till that. Okay. Now that whatever happiness he is going to gain there, yatsukhaṃ tad brahmatattvasya. That sukham, that bliss he is gaining is of the Brahman, meaning a Parama Brahmananda, Parabrahmananda. That is the absolute bliss. Meaning it is not a bliss. That is why he later he makes it clear by saying svākyam. Svākyam comes from the word svakam, one's own. With swaka word, you have nyai. So, nyai, the nyakara is it, therefore, adir nitudavaha, the adi gets vruddhi, swa means becomes swa. Swaka. Okay? With swaka plus ya, swakya. Swakya. And swaka plus swakam. So, swak plus ya, swakya. Swakya subutpatti swakyam. That is the Sanskrit explanation. So, your own, one's own happiness, that is not. See, we are talking about this is something which is important. The happiness gained by a man through a woman or a woman through a man, whichever way. For that happiness, this woman is a tool for manifestation of that happiness. She is not the happiness itself. You have to understand that. She is not the happiness itself. She is the means to gain that bliss. Like the mind is the place of manifestation of self. Only in a pure mind the self manifests. The Shruti very clearly says, Manasa eva vijñātavyaha. Only through the mind you have to understand. Mind means mind cannot grasp it. Yato vacho nivartante very clearly says, yes, mind cannot grasp it. Only through the pure mind we say. Chitta Shuddhi. With a pure mind you can understand this. Manasa eva jñātavya. Similarly here, this when is intense, at that point of time, there is the absence of the intense experience. At that point of time, there is a absence of duality. Like when you are experiencing a good coffee, whatever is good for you, the best among that, when you are drinking that or taking that, eating that. What was that sound? Who is that? You are enjoying the coffee as well as listening or hearing or seeing or things like that. You are also using your other sense organs to grasp other things. You are not completely, totally involved in only this sense organ. Never with these sense organs. If you are going to see something, you are going to also hear something. So, for that, every sense organ has, when you experience anything best with any sense organ, the other sense organs are also involved during that period of time in grasping their own objects. But during this, at the peak, that point of time, this man or the woman, when they are going to experience that peak, there is no duality of man and woman. That is what is said here. There is no duality of man and woman. Not just that. There is no duality of anything. They don't feel the taste. They don't feel the sense. There is complete blankness. So that is what is said here. Complete absence of duality. Now, We said this is not for everyone. Why should we say that? Because let us say, if this is the means, then should we practice that? Or for because this is a dharana, should we practice that to be experiencing this? Or should we follow the others? Because there are 121 dharanas. Two dharanas lost, nothing lost. You have 120 now, 119 at least. Right? So these dharanas are for people who have experienced it and they are involved in it. Their mind is not getting rid of it. So for them, as a means to understand, these are given. That's all. Okay? Not for everyone. So to practice this dharana, no, you don't have to get into any involvement. Just this dharana, for this dharana, that is necessary. And okay, but you condemned tantra. Yes, because in both these commentaries, whether it is Shivopadhyaya or Bhattananda, in both these commentaries, there is a common statement, which is tasya stri sangena यह आनंदः अनुभूयते ताम एव स्त्रियं ध्यात्वा आनंदमयो भवेत् इति भावः. Here स्त्री संगेन यह आनंद अनुभूयते तमेव स्त्रियं विना ध्यात्वा आनंदमयो भवेत् इति उक्तम्. ओके, स्त्री संगेन स्त्री संगे संगमेन संगमेन स्त्री संगेन स्त्री संगमेन, that's not a different word, synonyms there. यह आनंदः अनुभूयते, same words in both the commentaries. Tameva, tameva, that is the difference. Tam, tam, there is no difference also, again, these words. Striyam, dhyatva. In Bhattananda, he says, Striyam vina dhyatva. He is making it clear. Meaning, even without the woman, even without the other person, meditating, that is why samparishvaktaha comes. Sankshuddha comes. One should have to be completely meditating on with it with the whole intensity of the act. So whatever happens in a sexual act, one should have to completely involve himself to gain that peak and gain that experience of happiness. Okay, so that is what, that meditation is what is said here, not the act itself. Because if the act itself is going to bring you happiness, then that is a temporary happiness. For how many seconds will you have that? Few seconds. So that is not going to be a continuous one, and you cannot be, that's not samadhi, it's for only few seconds, and you cannot gain that experience again and again. Your body will be tired, so you cannot perform it. So he says, this is what is said. It is for a meditation, for meditation purpose, not for the purpose of performing it. For meditation, for people who have performed it already and who have experienced that intensity, that orgasms, for them it is said, not for a person who has not practiced it. Now, na srishti jayate lingat nad bhagat na apiretasah anando uchchilita shakti sijatyatmanam atmana. It is said the creation, the procreation does not take place because of a man. Lingat means the organ of creation, the sense, which is the man. Let us take it as man. Bhagat, not through a woman, or through the egg and the sperm. Pretasaha. Ananda uchchalita shakti. When the peak of experience of bliss takes place, there is a shakti. That shakti, she creates herself in a different form. So that is how creation is done. And another shloka to establish this is said in some of the acharya's text or Pandakarika somewhere. Jaya samparishvaktaha. Why this act is said here instead of talking about something else, some other experience of drinking, eating, etc. Because jaya samparishvaktaha na bahyam veti na chantaram nirdarshanam shrutif praha मूढस्तं मन्यते परम् जाया संपरिष्वक्तः न बाह्यं वेति न चान्तरम् निदर्शनं श्रुतिं प्राह मूढः तं मन्यते परम् जाया संपरिष्वक्तः a person one who is involved with his wife, with the lady, with the woman, now in the union, the act of union, nabahyam veti nachantaram, does not know the external or internal, whatever happens externally or internally. Nidarshanam, this is very clear for everyone. Shrutim Prahan, Shruti also says the same thing. Whatever is our experience is what is reiterated by the Shruti. Mudhatam manyate param. But the idiots think that is the supreme one. That is what is the real one. That experience is what is the real one. The idiots think that. Why? Because they think the object is the happiness. We said the object is the means for that happiness, for generating that happiness. It is not the happiness itself. Because a good coffee, 1, 2, 3, your biliousness increases. Sweet, you start nauseating. Similarly, here your body becomes tired, you can't function. So this is why it is said you have to meditate upon that act with whole intensity of the act. Then without a woman or without a man, then you experience this bliss. That is what is said here. We'll see. And this is a Shakta Upaya. It is not for everyone. That is also said here. It's Shakta Upaya. It is not any other upaya. It is Shakta Upaya. Okay? Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadaccate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.